coming through. All right. Everything sounds about good. Silence that again. All right, yeah. I downloaded some audio mixer app to kind of help with the yeah, and so I just wanted to make sure the stream was picking it up properly before I had to just kind of jack everything around. Yeah. All right, Hatlings, Noobernetes. Bye-bye. I was just making sure like the actual things looked right when I did the team selects. So, do you have the mod thing installed? So, like, all of them should be Hatling now. Interesting. So, I guess it sets it on the server, but it sets a value that you can only see if you have the mod. And we got some Mustard Tiger here. All right. Just basically told him to hold until we're ready to go. He was a little quick to get us going last time. Fiddleisk is a Hatling. Mustard's a noob. Noobernetes.
All right, we'll be getting here started shortly. Just setting up the lobby. First match will be between Fiddleisk for the Red Hat Hatlings and Mustard Tiger from Google Noobernetes. ZVP on King's Cove. Starting soon. Hold tight.
Yep. I'm just publicizing a little bit and good. All right, switching over. All right, there we go. We got audio. All right, guys. Looks like we're about to get started here in a few minutes. Alright guys, looks like our first match is getting underway. In the top left corner, we have from Noobernetes, Mustard Tiger. And in the bottom corner, we have from Red Hat, Hatlings, Budalisk.
Alright, well, ZVP here. Foo dropping the quick extractor trick, trying to squeeze out a little bit of extra supply. Mustard Tiger dropping that first pylon. Nice standard stuff so far.
Yeah. And for those watching at home, I have a guest with me now, Eagle. He is helping me cast. He's from the Starcraft Tuesday group, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
And just to make sure I'm watching what you're watching, you're following the Observer right now, right?
That's correct.
All right.
Overlord.
Yep.
So we've got the fast expansion going down for our red Zerg. Just very standard opener here. Spawning pool also started. Very straightforward opening. 1 gas. Zealot coming out on blue Protoss side. Makes him drop the cyber core.
I'm going to do that again because I think I did in my push to talk. Starting the stream off right this morning. So I have Eagle with me from StarCraft Tuesdays.
Hey folks.
Helping me cast. So if you were wondering who he was talking to a moment ago, it was me.
And of course I'm also joined by Patch from Red Hat itself. So, second gateway going down for the blue Protoss. Foo going ahead, grabbing that fast third. Really trying to get that macro game wrapped up.
Looks like we got some scouting probe here. The Lings are going to try to go ahead and take that down in case there's any proxying attempts.
Robo going down for our Protoss. Warp Gate research started, and another gateway. Looks like Mustard Tiger's going to get out and adapt, try to hold off some of that potential early pressure, Lings, etc. Who also starting his Ling speed upgrade. Might want to try to be a little aggressive early, just get some map control, make sure he can get that third up safely. Looks like Mustard Tiger also looking to get his natural down. He's going to want to go ahead and get that economy going. Otherwise he's going to start falling really far behind as the Zerg economy starts to ramp up.
Yep. Visual is going a little greedy. You kind of have to with a Zerg, because the more layers you have, the more you can produce. So. A little Zerg coming across on that there, and a little army following behind it of Dips.
Yeah, this observer's going to really give Mustard Tiger a chance to see what Vu's doing. Get in there. It's kind of the early observer. It's going to slow down. The Immortal coming out, but having that map information is going to be so critical to being able to build the right composition and react to Zerg.
Looks like Metabolic Boost is bitted up for them Cracklings to run around the map.
Adepts and Zealot are going to try to harass this front, but the double Evo Bay at the front is going to make that a complete wall off. Moving the Spine Crawler over now, trying to get some pokes in on that defense. Shouldn't have any problem holding this.
Yep. Some roaches on the ground just running around as well.
Much aggression from either player right now. It looks like they're both content to sort of just sit back and macro up. War Prism about finished for our blue Protoss, so maybe we'll see some drop play
Circling army in here for to try to do a little harassment.
With that Immortal and the 3 Zealots, though, it should be able to hold this. Mustard Tiger is going to lose a few probes.
They're trying to get us around on that. Oh.
So,
and Mustard Tiger will hold it and clean it up a little bit as Beetleist just runs away. I'd live another day. That was pretty cheesy, I'm sorry.
So, Mustard Tiger has his Warp Prism across the field. He's ready to do some damage. He can actually go ahead and drop those 2 Adepts, and the Zealot can go straight into this space in between the 2nd and the 3rd. Not going to be able to get much down, though. It seems to be on top of things. With all that creep spread, Army's going to move very fast.
Queens are going to try to take it out. I've got a few good hits off. They may be able to grab it here. Oh, he makes it out with just enough to stay alive.
+1 ranged weapons upgrade starting for Voodalisk. Trying to get the head start on that upgrade advantage. Not a whole lot of tech from him yet, just a standard Roach Hydra composition, getting that Hydra upgrade starting. 6 gas currently down. Really trying to get into that heavy late game macro. Really starting to pull ahead of Mustard Tiger here. In the economy and in the army supply.
Our working count right now is 49.50 for Vitalist to 37 to Mustard Tiger. Army counts are about even. Vitalist is just really going to be able to start trying to pull away here.
Shield battery going down at the front for the Protoss. This should give him a chance to really wants to try to hold this choke. Looks like Vu starting to build up a bit of an army. If he wants to move across the map, maybe do some damage with those roaches. He's got an option here. You can see everything that Mustard Tiger's doing with that Hydra sitting here in the Perv Poach.
Just learned that term the other day. It was rather hilarious to me.
However, that Void Ray that Mustard Tiger's cut out is going to give him vision. He's going to deflect that Overlord. Not sure what the Void Ray is for, but should be able to do some good damage against those roaches when they do decide to come in. Another Void Ray in production. Sort of a weird unit composition here. Zealot legs also going. Double Forge going down. Looks like Protoss is finally deciding to get into the upgrade game. Meanwhile, Vu's got all of the upgrades going. Baneling speed, Hydra range, Carapace 1, just really powering up now, making his army as strong as can be.
Yeah, Protoss probably should go ahead and start taking its 3rd base at this point. Vitalisk is on 4. And there goes Vitalisk trying to see if he had that 3rd taken already.
Yeah, and with Vu seeing this 3rd not yet taken, I imagine he might try to come in and put some pressure on. He's got to be feeling pretty comfortable right now with his economy lead. However,
yeah,
it might be nice to see. Yeah. It might be nice to see Vu start scout the map, maybe a hidden expansion somewhere. Who knows? But you know, currently looking at a 152 to 109 supply lead for Vu. He's getting very close to getting maxed out. Advantages in both the worker count and army supply, as well as upgrades. This game's starting to get away from our blue Protoss.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try to turtle up a little bit or something, and then base up if he wants to have a chance of holding the next push that comes, and then making it to the mid to late game. I think whenever Vitalisk maxes out and he makes that push, It's probably going to overwhelm the Protoss here.
Right, and a couple of lurkers now on the field. This is going to be tough. Currently, Mustard Tiger only has a single observer, so need to make sure that's in position to help deal with this.
And there goes an up fight right there, and Mustard Tiger didn't notice it at first and was kept moving by, but looks like they've cleaned up the roaches that they came across.
Yeah, it's a really efficient trade for Protoss. He's gonna need to take a lot more just like that. Mistake by Voodalisk, but feeling kind of bold now. Moving across the middle of the map. Pretty good creep spread so far by our Zerg. Giving him lots of vision, a lot of the army to move around a little bit faster.
Looks like Vitalisk's army is really bunching up right there, waiting for the next coming push. And here it comes from Mustard Tiger. But looks like Vitalisk is backing up a little bit. He's setting up some defense.
Yeah, those spines from the lurkers are going to be devastating to this army. It's going to be, when he comes through, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult push. Mustard Tiger really needs to do some damage here, or otherwise Voodalisk is going to be pretty well positioned to sort of take this game straight away. But the longer the Voodalisk holds back and gives the Protoss a chance to max out, especially when the Protoss upgrades start clicking. Big engagement going down now in the center. So much DPS from those Hydras just chewing through those Immortals and those Void Rays. Warp Prism also going down, and that cleans it up.
Yeah, I think Vitalisk is going to feel pretty confident to go ahead and start pushing here. Looks like he wiped out almost all of Mustard Tiger's army. It's really just a one-sided game at this point. Mustard Tiger's going to have to really try to hold this outside of his base.
There's not much he's going to be able to do here. That's just a lot of Hydras. And the Lurkers in behind it. It's even more DPS. A couple of Banelings rolling through. They don't find much of a target, but...
They're there just in case they can find some bio to melt down.
Those shield batteries going to be less effective without other units nearby to sort of absorb that mana, but this is pretty much it for our blue Protoss. It looks like a killing blow.
The workers are going to go down. Looks like this base is going to go down. And he's in the main now. He's really tearing apart the production capabilities of Mustard Tiger as well. I don't think Mustard Tiger has really a chance to hold it at this point. It's just pretty much game now. Just Vitalisk is going to clean everything up.
There's our GG.
And that was game one of Red Hat versus Red Hat Hatlings versus Google Noobernetes. Red Hat takes it. Tiger 1-0.
And that gives Red Hat the 1-0 lead in the series.
So yeah, not exactly who we have up next, but we will get back to you guys here in just a minute. Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, so we'll be starting here. Match 2. It's going to be on Year 0 LE. Mr. Sleep from Red Hat on Zerg, and Hatlings on Zerg from Google. ZVZ this time. We'll see you shortly. And we're off. On Year 0 LE, starting off in the upper left corner, we have a yellow Zerg, yellow this time, Mr. Sleep from the Red Hat Hatlings. In the upper right, we have our red Zerg from the Google Noobernetes, Halflings, CVZ this time.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting to see. I know Mr. Sleep tends to be a bit of a macro player. I don't have too much familiarity with Halflings. I remember seeing him last week. I don't quite remember what route he chose. But it'll be interesting to see which ways these guys decide to try to go against each other. Looks mostly mirror matching at the moment, though.
Yeah, very standard opener. Hatches going down first for both players. Overlord's being sent across the map by Mr. Sleep, trying to get that scouting info, figure out what kind of tech Hatlings is going to be doing. Might take him a little while to get there, though. Overlord's not known to be the fastest. Doing a fist bump in the middle of the map over Space Satan. This is an interesting map. Watchtowers in the top and bottom, but a lot of destructible rocks that sort of prevent that really short rest distance. Really requires going the long way around if you want to get to your opponent, and as well as deviate your army if you want to take command of those watchtowers, get that vision. For that reason, there's a pretty well protected third. If they decided to do it. Over here, same for Halflings. Expanding away from your opponent, generally preferred tactic by the Zergs.
Looks like we have the spawning pool done. Both players done about the same. Looks like Mr. Sleep's going to go for some fast Zerglings out of the gate. He's got where those going have just popped.
Yeah, very mirror match so far. Just the only difference so far is that a speeding upgrade for coming from Mr. Sleep. Both Zergs still sitting on one gas, getting their queens out, getting that economy going. Not really willing to commit right now to a particular strategy.
There's the initial 4 Zerglings out for Mr. Sleep to go poke, check, see what's going on. Pretty standard initial scout by Zergs.
He's going to leave one of those lings on the watchtowers, get that vision, make sure that no surprise attacks coming. He is going to see that roach den, roach warren, right there at the front from Halflings. Halflings attempting to bypass the whole Ling Bane stage, go straight to the heavier units.
Speed's about to pop, so he might be able to run away from this and survive.
Oh, but the queens are going to shut down as speed finishes. Mr. Sleep getting his own roach warren started. Also opting to put it in the front to get that wall off, along with the Evo chamber. Help prevent, a big concave coming in, give it a little bit more of a defensive angle, defensive arc to defend. Opting to drop his second gas at his natural as instead of his main. Sort of an unbalanced double gas there. Our halflings deciding to do the same thing, but also going ahead and dropping the third. Go ahead and go for that macro game. Getting that economy going. Meanwhile, Mr. Sleep looking like he wants to push maybe, getting that roach upgrade started. Dropping more gas. Seems like maybe wants to commit to a 2-base timing. Or just concerned about the army coming from halflings.
Especially if he saw that third go down, he probably would feel pretty comfortable in the fact that he could potentially army up and then walk over there and take advantage of the fact that his opponent decided to get a little greedy and go for that third. Just kind of hopefully do some damage while the enemy's gate is down, so to speak.
However, the army supply actually heavily favors halflings right now. Despite the quick third, halflings taking a commanding lead so far. Up 17 in the total supply, up 6 workers, and up 12 army. Continuing to go up.
Mr. Sleep finally grabbed his third expansion. Looks like it may just be he's just a little bit behind the halflings at this point. Hopefully he can make it up.
Mr. Sleep doing a good job with his map vision though. Still has overlords all over the map, so he'll have tabs on when halflings decides to expand. And halflings just now getting that creep started, going across the map. Creep spread not as important in a TVC. Your opponent can generally take advantage of it just as well as you can, but anytime you can get your army moved across the map much faster is an advantage.
Yep. Look at the upgrades for both sides are coming in. Pneumatized Carapace is about to finish up.
So Mr. Sleep definitely going for the scouting strategy. His overlords be just a little bit faster now. Maybe we'll see a Nidus. His lair, Mr. Sleep's lair is ready, as well as halflings. So not out of the question. Very popular strategy for Zergs these days. Several Ravagers on the field for halflings. Looks like he's really trying to bulk up for this timing. However, neither player really choosing to engage yet.
Halflings both looking like they're just kind of hanging out at home. Halfling's taking a commanding army lead at this point, but Mr. Sleep does have a rather decent advantage of workers over the halflings.
Yeah, very interesting. Even though halflings got the earlier third, not droning as strongly behind it. Halflings going ahead and dropping his fourth though, so that fourth base is and dropping it very forward. So maybe he wants to be aggressive here. However, Mr. Sleep really going into the tech heavy, getting those Hydras out. Looks like we're going to see a Roach Hydra against a Roach Ravager. Mr. Sleep
Looks
also
like Mr.
getting
Sleep
those changelings.
Looks like Mr. Sleep is also taking his fourth base down in the left corner there. In a more standard location.
A little bit more of a defensive location. It will split his army off a little bit more if he needs to defend it. However, definitely gets it out of the line of fire for an encroaching army. Spire for Mr. Sleep, fixing the finish. Maybe wants to go into some airplay. And with the infestation pool finished, also starting his hive. So really looking for a high-tech game.
So it looks like Halflings is starting to move his army out. Again, army supply 138 to Mr. Sleep's 66. Mr. Sleep's really gonna have to do some damage here, and he looks like he misses it. completely, and they walk right by. But he gets to surround him on both sides. The Ravagers come down though, do a little bit of damage on those Hydralisks, and looks like Mr. Sleep's armor is getting pretty chewed up there, and Halfling still has a good chunk of Rich Ravager running around.
So yeah, that's just a testament. It was very good pincer maneuver by Mr. Sleep. Took it as efficiently as he could, but Hatlings just has so much more stuff. And these drones running away to this other hatch are going to give away that fourth base. Although Hatlings decides not to engage, he's going to go ahead and maybe move up into the natural, into the main, try to get the killing blow.
Does have some units to hold off here. Looks like Mutalisk, at least one Mutalisk is popped at this point for Mr. Sleep. Since there really is no anti-air, that could help clean up, but it looks like I don't see where it is actually, if it's getting into the fight at this point. And looks like Halfling is really just gonna clean up the bases here. And there's the GG from Mr. Sleep.
Oh, victory goes to Google, who ties the series up 1-1.
Really interesting ZVZ there. Really could have gone either way up until that last few minutes when Halflings really took that army lead.
Right, had Halfling given him another 30 seconds or so to really get that macro rolling, Mr. Sleep had the tech incoming. He could have probably shut that down, but Halflings had built up such huge commanding army lead that it was going to be difficult for him to stop him.
Yep, and so that'll be game 2. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with game 3 as soon as everything is set up.
Alright, looks like game 3 is going to be on Automaton. Between Red Hat and Google, we're going to have the Zip, the Zerg from Red Hat against Google, Frolic, the Terran. ZBT, seen a lot of Zerg coming out of Red Hat so far, but we'll see if Red Hat can take the lead 2-1, or if Google will continue their momentum coming with a win out of game 2.
All right, and here we go. Game number 3. We have Zip from Red Hat Hatlings against Frolic from Google Noobernetes. In the upper mid-right side, we have Zip. And in the lower left side, we have Frolic. And, oh, look at that little heart coming out there from Zip in the chat.
Definitely some good manners to start this off.
Alright. Already we have 2 SCVs out on the map. I'm curious if we're going to see some early rush play.
Yeah, some proxy play. You know, the 2 racks are very strong throughout most of Starcraft at the high levels last year, but with that depot going down, it looks like he might be trying to do something a little cheesy here.
Yep, and Zip already starting with fast second base. It's going to open him up to some early rush here.
Yeah, that hatch first build a little bit more susceptible to the proxy. Generally want to get that pull down first, get those lings out to stop the bunker rush, but it's very standard opener. We'll see if he can hold.
I have this observer here coming in, probably going to come by and scout this. But Frolic also already dropping down his second. He just made a random proxy supply depot, potentially to mislead Zip, thinking there's going to be some proxy play, while he turns around and goes back into a standard opener.
Definitely
maybe a way to try to force him to stay at home or something like that.
Yes, maybe the mind games, but obviously Zip's going to see that lone depot and probably going to be questioning exactly what Frolic is doing.
Frolic has another SCV coming in. Going to scout and see. And he's really just has the spawning pool there and the natural.
Mm-hmm. First 6 lings fixing to come out for Zip, so he should be able to shut down that SCV scout pretty quickly. Not before it saw everything, though.
Yep. And Zip has his Overlord hanging out on the Terran side of the map.
Those first 6 lings going straight for that depot. It could be. Frolic has plenty of supply available. He's been building his depots pretty well. This won't supply cap him, but that was a 300 minerals for our Zerg.
And it looks like he's got the reactor on the barracks there. He's going to start trying to pump out Marines. Hopefully in time to fend off the Zergling army coming across the map. There is a bunker, so they'll hopefully be able to hide out and hold off this rush from there. But it looks like... don't know if there's a hole in that wall off or not, though. It looks like it might be tight. But
yeah, I think when the depot comes up, it should be tight. And, you know, the 2 Marines in the bunker will be enough to hold against the 6 lings, especially before speed starts. So just a little bit of harass on that mineral line, keep them from mining some of the further patches for now. But not really looking to do a lot of damage, just keep the Terran on edge.
And it's got a full 4 Marines in that bunker now, so they're going to just be able to hang out. And looks like he'll be able to run around and clean up with the rest of it. Pulling the SCVs, though, to help clean it up. That's going to put him behind a little bit mineral-wise.
Well, he's already...
both sides are already floating quite a bit of minerals, too.
Yes. Zip's got his natural saturated a little bit better. Terran trying to catch up using those mules, but Zerg gas income twice the Terran gas income right now. Commanding worker lead, even though neither side really has much of an army.
And Zip has his 3rd down. And just going... he's got a baling nest down as well. Looking to set up that all too popular Baneling bust against Terran Bio.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and set up support crawlers in the middle of the lines as well.
Frolic getting out a Marauder and a couple Hellions, so it looks like he's with the combat shields researching. Maybe wants to commit to the bio, but with a 1-1-1 barracks factory and a starport, definitely looking to have a diverse army. But Zip should have the tech to counter it. And I believe those Hellions are actually Blue Flame Hellions, so they seem to have the Infernal Pre-Igniter on the edge there, doing a little bit more damage to the light units. Really effective against the Lings. Can't shoot up, though.
Yeah, the Blue Flame does a really good job of just really melting into the ground units. Can really be effective at holding off. Looks like they're going to get some medevacs in as well. Combat shield's about to be done.
And when he finishes that armory, he'll be able to transform all those Hellions into Hellbats. So give him a really beefy front for his bio standing behind. And these medevacs will be able to heal as well. So, and there they are, transform and get up and start walking.
So they're starting to march across the map, but it looks like Zip also has a chunk of Lings running around as well.
Scan going down in Zip's main, probably looking for tech, looking for his army, looking for any kind of information he can get. Picks up 2 of those Hellbats, though. Looks like he wants to do a drop. Get 2 of those Hellbats in the worker line. He can do a lot of damage if the Zerg doesn't react in time.
So it looks like we got a 4th going down for Zip as well. He has the 5th base in his main, so he's really ramping up his unit production here. With Frolic being only on 2 base, that's going to put Zip out at a pretty commanding income lead.
That's only if he doesn't do a lot of damage here, though. Those 2 Hellbats are going to town in that mineral line. Got 2 drone kills so far. Zip does pull the drones in time. Lings come in. Lings not the best against the Hellbats, but decides to go ahead and just pick up. Only rescues 1 of the Hellbats before the Banelings arrive.
Yep.
But he can take that Hellbat home and fight another day.
Yep.
Income starting to stabilize here. Zerg getting quite a bit more mineral income, but our gas income very even. Even in army supply as well, but a 20+ worker lead for our Zerg. As you see the Mutaflock beginning to cross the map, really establishing a lot of map control here. He can be everywhere very quickly with that Ling Muta composition.
Yep, so it looks like he's staging those mutas over there. They don't really see any anti-air on the Terran side here. Just a bunch of Marines that can run around. But mutas are pretty good at chewing through those blocks. And he's running around, checking out, making sure there's no other big bases being built yet. And he's going to come in with these mutas to try to do some damage here at the natural.
Yeah, taking a look at the units tab, there's only 7 Marines to the 9 mutas. A couple of Vikings on the field, Cyclone as well, so starting to get units out to deal with it, but not much at the moment.
4 workers killed. There's a Liberator there, but I don't think one's going to be enough. It will pick off 1 muta. And Zip has already got some significant damage done. 11, 12 SCVs dead already. The Liberator is chewing away at those mutas. He's going to have to do something about it.
That would be a Cyclone, actually, but Marines show up, start to chew up the mutas, but not before 20 workers are killed. Terrible damage. Terrible, terrible damage on the Terran economy from our Zerg. Puts him at a very strong lead. It's going to take a long time for the Terran to replace all the mortars.
And it looks like the Terran's now going to move out with his army to maybe do a counterattack, but there's already a rather significant ball of Banelings and Zerglings there. Be interesting to see how this fight shapes up.
This is a very strong army, though. Those banelings will be really effective against the light armored units, but once they explode, that's it. They're gone. So he just needs to hold on for this push. But the banelings roll over everything as the tank arrives. It doesn't have much in front of him.
Looks like he cleared up most of the ground units there to take down that cyclone as well. So while there is no anti-air at the moment,
the ground army is outrunning those medevacs. It seems to be a race back to the Terran base. There is a Widow Mine sitting out front. It will get a kill on 2 of those banelings, but most of the rest of the banelings make it up into the main. A lot of workers stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Able to clean up using that high ground. Landing the Vikings just to get a little bit more DPS so he doesn't quite lose as many workers. Another 7 workers killed, though. And Ling's still chewing away at a lot of this Terran infrastructure. Just doesn't have much to clean up at the moment. A lot of that army supply sort of holed up in medevacs and Vikings and things that just aren't going to be very effective against the composition that the Zerg is running.
he gets a couple more Hellions out. Cyclone's doing a decent amount of damage. He'll clean up this chunk of Zerglings left over, but there's another chunk coming in right behind it.
Yeah, at this point,
that high ground siege tank.
Ooh, large
do
explosion!
enough damage.
That splash from the siege tank, as well as that Widow Mine, just really tearing apart that pack of Lings. Not much left. Zip decides to cut his losses, turn around and go home, as he's done enough damage for now. But flooding more and more Lings onto the map. Question is he going to decide to go home and maybe macro up, sitting on a large bank of minerals? Hasn't been paying attention to his macro as he's been doing this aggressive, but hasn't really needed to because the Terran economy is in shambles.
Yeah, it's going to take quite a bit for him to recover. It's down to 17 workers, not even enough to saturate a base, so
However,
it's going to be hard to come back from.
The Terran does have mules, so do they really need workers?
I mean, only so much energy in an orbital command center, especially only 2 of them.
Well, that one has a lot of energy, Patch.
It does. It should be able to at least help the initial, but he's going to have to really try to churn out some of these SCVs to really stay in the game.
And with the money bank that Zip has right now, he could really just, if he gets his injects down and really just pumps out, if he spends all that money, he can pretty much move into the Terran base and probably win the game.
And brings in the mutas now to really just do some more damage. Takes out a good more chunk of the SCVs.
He is going to want to watch out, not fly those mutas over the Widow Mine and do a lot of major splash damage, but nothing to really shoot up right now aside from that Cyclone and a couple of Vikings. That's not going to be enough to stop the mute pack, but Widow Mine does a lot of splash damage, but not enough to one-shot the mutas, so these mutas are pretty much going to run wild over the rest of the army.
Yep, I don't see anything else at this moment that really has anti-air capability. And there's the GG from Frolic.
GG, Red Hat comes back to take another game, goes up 2-1.
Alright guys, we'll be right back with game 4. Stick around, thanks for tuning in. Thank you. I noticed, but I was going to try to, yeah.
Game
Say
4
something for me real quick.
coming up with the Red Hat up 2-1 against Google. It's going to be on Caro's Junction between Nitrous, our Red Hat Terran, versus Clayhe, our Google
Say
Terran.
something.
We'll be right back.
All right, now say something. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. Going into game 4. Nitrous versus Clayhe. Red Hat leads 2-1 in the top left corner. We have for Red Hat Hatlings Nitrous, and in the bottom right corner we have there we go. In the bottom right corner we have Clayhe for Google Noobernetes. Sorry for the misclicks. Screwing the map up.
All right, well, TVT. We've seen a lot of Zerg so far, Patch, but this will be something new.
Yeah, I mean, I've played against Nitrous a few times. He pretty much is a standard macro Terran player. I'm curious to see what he will go with this time around as his main composition. But we'll probably see some pretty standard play out of him. Looks like so far with the opener, pretty standard play for Clayhe as well.
Yeah, getting a mirror here. Slight difference. Clayhe getting his gas just a hair bit faster. Nitrous getting his barracks out also just the smallest bit faster than Clayhe. But overall, very even so far. Clayhe's starting that gas already. A lot of options here in the mirror matchup. Often very popular to see Reaper openings, Marine openings, even Hellion Tech openings. Nitrous getting that orbital started while Clayhe is working on his second gas. Looks like Nitrous is really going for that eco opener. Clayhe trying to get a little bit of tech, maybe do some harassment, keep the economies even.
So this SCV will not be able to get the scout. He's already walled off the ramp, and to where the SCV can't really get in. But Nitrous will see that he already has a tech lab going on that barracks, and Clayhe now has a factory going up. Nitrous doesn't really build it. There goes. He's starting to build a barracks now and then a factory as well. And he's got a reactor going down for the front barracks.
Well, there's a small timing here for Clayhe. If he decides to pump out a lot of units, try to get that quick timing, take advantage of his early gas and really leverage that his stronger army at the moment. But the more he delays and he decides to start the combat shields upgrade, maybe trying to be a little bit more defensive in his approach, that's not going to pay off well for him as Nitrous starts to saturate that natural, really get his economy in the second gear.
Yeah, Clay already starting a starport down as well. It's going for pretty much a standard 1 base 1-1-1 here. Nitrous has got his barracks finished, and it'd be interesting to see what these combat shields have been purchased for, to see what he really plans on doing with this. Nitrous already has a barracks down in front and loads it with 4 Marines. It's going to be able to really fend off any early harassment there.
If we see a quick dropship from, well, actually it looks like he's going to go ahead and move the starport over to that tech lab. Maybe we'll see a Banshee coming out here. But yes, there's the Banshee and the cloak. So that bunker in the front of his natural not going to be as effective for a Banshee in the mineral line. But no expansion yet for Clayhe. He's going to need to do some real serious damage, while at the same time Nitrous also ramping up his army production. The combat shields, as you mentioned, it's a good defensive upgrade. It's a little bit faster than Stim. Pretty much allows your Marines to take an extra hit. Kind of gives you a narrow timing there if you want to try to get in quicker. But at this point, Clayhe just falling further and further behind in the economy. Almost 50% more mineral income for Nitrous at the moment.
Clayhe does have his second command center going down now. It really looks like Clayhe wanted to go for this initial Banshee, Cloak Banshee opener. I do not think it's going to be that effective, as Nitrous already has missile turrets in both of his mineral lines. So it's not really going to be able to do too much damage here. But it's at least a really good attempt out of Clayhe.
He may at least be able to deny some of the gas mining as he waits for Cloak to finish here. That one Banshee is sitting outside of the natural, ready to go in.
Second Banshee here is finishing up, and he'll probably wait for it to arrive to do some damage, or he's moving in already. He'll see that he's already loaded up for a drop, it seems.
Banshee decides to stay home.
He'll try to take out this bunker, denies the missile tower, while Nitrous is moving his drop across the map. Nitrous' stem is about to finish. This Banshee is just going to sit here and not really be answered, and flies too close to the mineral line and gets taken out.
With that Banshee taken care of, you're going to see this drop coming in from Nitrous, going straight into the main. This is going to be devastating, especially with Clayhe's army moving across the map. Look, Banshee there, but
yep.
We could.
Clay's going to have to make a decision to pull back or move forward, and it looks like he's going to pull his army back, try to defend against this, as Nitrous just pretty much takes out all of the SCVs here and really does a lot of damage to that economy. Takes out 24 total SCVs and starts doing a lot of damage in the main base.
We only have Wings of Liberty level workers left. 6 workers left for Clayhe. Just devastating damage. That army out of position, supported by those medevacs. Nitrous this is a game-winning blow right here. Clayhe going to try to squeeze a couple more Marines out, but sort of misrallied. It's not going to do a lot of damage. He cleans up the Raven and the Banshee that was attacking back home. Seems the units still rallied across the map, but Clayhe hoping for a miracle right here. And he's not going to get one, as Nitrous just continues to clean up these buildings.
Clay's trying to hang on. And the Banshee's back gets taken out almost immediately. Got the scan going down just in case. The rest of the SCVs coming in to the main. They get wiped out as well. And it's Clay, he's holding on as long as he can, but it looks like this is going to be it.
Yes, this is the series on the line here. With this win, Red Hat would go up 3-1. There's the
and
GG.
There's the GG.
Red Hat takes the series 3-1. Congratulations, Red Hat, for winning week 1.
And for those astute people back home who realize that, you know, this is again Red Hat versus Hatlings versus Google Noobernetes. The random seed apparently decided that Red Hat needed to play Noobernetes again as the season opening match. Last week was just a preseason, all in good fun, get everything going. This is the first match that counts towards the actual tournament. Red Hat needs to get 5 wins to move on to the next stage of the tournament, and they take their first today against Google Noobernetes.
Right, and for everybody at home, you know, this is just week 1 of the Corporate Esports Association spring 2019 season, so several more weeks to go. It's a Swiss tournament style season. You're going to see as teams get enough wins and get placed out of the bracket going into the playoffs. You know, we're going to, generally going to see a lot of teams that it's going to promote more even matches. Very widespread level of Starcraft play out of a lot of these corporate teams. These are not professionals. These are not Koreans. Just a lot of good, old-fashioned down-home Starcraft.
Yep, every dollar goes to charity for the winning team. It's just some good old fun. Players of all skills and levels. Just a good, fun thing to do for a few weeks on a Saturday afternoon. Tune in next time, guys. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, GG.
All right, stream's done. Thank you, sir. Appreciated the help.